That's just a fit. I think that was the idea, was this is supposed to be an action shot. I do have the straw one if you have a small area that needs to be.
Yeah, I think let's put that right here so that we can go halfway.
So probably one more after this?
Yeah, for now, because we want to keep these guys out of there, right?
Yeah.
So Lisa gets to do a little paperwork this morning. We're going to brand tomorrow morning, but we make a spreadsheet here and have somebody keep track of all of the calves that come through and make sure they've been vaccinated and just check them out, have a spot for comments. This is kind of high tech for us. I've seen this done on the back of a cardboard box and just writing down hash marks, keeping track of how many heifers and how many steers come through, but we like to be a little bit more precise on it and be able to make comments and see exactly what is going on with each animal.
Well, it's the day before branding and we have 2 pastures opened up. So we're taking everybody from the north pasture and pushing them all to the southernmost pasture. I'm on Bet. Dad's on Lucky. And we're pushing the cows over to the calving pasture, the south pasture, and then tomorrow we'll gather and take them in for branding day. As you can see there, that's I think Elsa. That's what we've called her. Or no, that's I guess she's been dubbed Deuce, I think is what her name is now. Deuce. She's gonna be ears 2.0. So here we go. While we allow the cows to mother up before we push them back out to the southernmost pasture, we're letting the horses just kind of stand here, just sit in the saddles. But Braden is fixing corral gates and trying to get the hinges so everything's a little easier to maneuver. So once that's done, we're gonna push those cows out. Some of you may ask, why are you adjusting the gates? And that's simply because, let me undo the latch here. Sometimes gravity, animals hitting it, just overall wear and tear, it'll slip, and this bolt will actually start to rub up against this bottom part, or maybe it'll be at the bottom part of down here or up above on the hole. So just, you know, friction or just getting caught, it won't open up. So now we've adjusted and it'll go right in the hole, nice and easy. Not a problem. So we're all set now, but yeah, it's just maintenance. Sometimes it's a pain, sometimes we complain, but overall it's needed. We've been very thankful for the spring moisture. So after consolidating the cows out of the north pasture and pushing them to the south pasture, we have a mucky mess. It's been like this for a few days, but it's just been exacerbated by the fact that we have brought all the cows in. So Dad's grabbing a bucket full of stone and dirt, and we're gonna throw it in this soupy mess right here. Hopefully get a little bit better footing for us and the cows, so that tomorrow we can funnel them all right through this alleyway and into this corral for branding. Here he comes now with a dirt full of bucket, or in the proper words, a bucket full of dirt. And he's gonna throw it in that soupy mess that we talked about. You can see how much moisture we've gotten, and then on top of the cows all come into one place for water, it just becomes a really soupy, muddy mess. When you can watch me step into it right there, do it again, it's all over. So he's gonna fill that up with some dirt. I've taken this gate, it's not secured, but it's just kind of blocked off for the moment, and he's gonna come in. Thankfully we don't have an overhead right there, so he's perfectly fine. You can see that one bucket load of dirt is in there, and just the amount of moisture along with the fecal matter from the cows all mixed together, it's just slowly creeping out. It's pushed it out. So as he fills this up some more, he might do a couple more bucket loads. I suspect it'll continue to push outward like this, but we really just need this foundation solidified a little bit, because it does, if we don't, it'll undercut the tire trough a little. Plus, it's just dangerous. Somebody or someone gets underneath there, it slips, they can get trampled by mamas and whatnot. So it's just a good idea to fill this in. What happens normally is we get some scrap wood and we collect it at the ranch, and then we douse it with some diesel and get it set for combustion. He said he throws some, it's a gas diesel mix, so we put it all in here, and then we're gonna burn it, and just a little bit of maintenance and upkeep. Meanwhile, Dad's getting yet another bucket full of dirt. I set up a gate there so he can go around and come in from the other side, just because it's so soupy and I don't want him getting, you know, possibly stuck down there. So now I gotta let him know what I did. Hey, I opened this gate and that one down there so you can take it from the west side too if you want. Whatever's best. I just don't want you getting stuck one way because it's getting soupy really fast. You might want to take it from the west side, drop some, and push it a little bit. That's how we talk when we got a tractor. You might get an appreciation for how dirty it is with how much my boots are messed up right now. He's gonna try and take it from the west side here. Got the gates open. We'll see how this turns out. I'll give him some hand signals too. To warm up that hand. The fire is started, and as Dad goes back for another round of dirt, we have Braden on standby, just watching it. He's a wildlands firefighter.
We got wet wood and diesel with water in it, so it's not working very well.
Oh, there's water in the diesel?
Probably. It'll get going. You want to see King of Fire? Ooh, that's hot.
The King of Fire. Normally we don't try to burn in the summertime. It's the end of May, we're coming up on June, but we have had a lot of moisture, and there's processes you have to go through with the government and so on and so forth to be able to burn. So Braden, being a wildlands firefighter, we want to get some of his information on this. Bray, what's some things that you are required to do by law in order to be allowed to burn like this? Is there a size in which you cannot burn? Why are we doing it now instead of maybe later in the summer or earlier in the spring?
So that kind of depends on where you're at. I actually went on an assignment in Missouri not too long ago, and it turns out in some places, other states, they have different laws. So in Missouri, for instance, they have pretty much a free-for-all. So the landowners, if they own property, they can just burn whenever they want. However, in the state of Montana, we have to get a burn permit through the county, and you can go to your county courthouse and get that. And then the day that you're actually burning, you have to call the number that's on your burn permit. And usually they'll ask you information like what's your address, what's your burn permit number, and then time frame of when you're going to be burning. So they have an idea of if people call in a smoke report, then they know, oh, there's a local burning that day. And also it's just good to know the time frame, so we're not burning in the middle of summer, obviously. If you look out here, there's all good green grass. It's not going to carry. In the summertime, we wouldn't be burning this because all this tall grass would be cured out and it would just run right through it, and then we would lose it. if you are worried about when to burn and when not to burn, consult a professional, or even when you call it into the county, or that number on the burn permit, the county may even tell you today's not a good day to burn, you're not allowed to. Or obviously red flag days, you're not allowed to. Other stipulations like that, but typically we do this in the spring. Last night we got a nice little rainstorm, so the grass is still really wet. You can see my boots. Everything around that fire is gonna be nice and wet. All this green grass is not gonna burn. You can see right next to it, it's actually pretty hot, but none of that's even burning either. So I have no worries that any of those embers are gonna spot anywhere and start anything. I also know that it's gonna be relatively cool today. I think the highest temperature was 60 degrees. I looked at our winds, and our winds were all single digits. I think the highest was like 9 miles an hour around 1 o'clock. And then today's a 20% chance of moisture all the way up until 3 p.m. where it's gonna be about 60%. So I'm kind of hoping to burn all this stuff down and let it get burnt down to a really small pile before we start getting rain and moisture that's gonna help knock it down. So obviously springtime and fall's a good time, but spring's better because fall can still be dried out even though the temperatures are going down. So typically we do it every spring.
Dad dropped one more bucket, and now he's just kind of doing some finish work here. And then what we're going to do is open those gates back up so the cows have access to water. And then we're going to move on to the next thing on the list for today. Braden provided a really good point. A lot of this is scrap wood. It's stuff that we haven't used, or it's just too old to use. A great example is right here. This is old fence. We just haven't replaced it yet, haven't done any remodeling, and so it's remaining in place. The stuff though that we have replaced is just thrown in a pile, and it needs to be burned. It needs to be gotten rid of. So this is one way for us to do that, because it's just no other thing to use it for.
The important thing is knowing this is all scrap wood that's rotten, doesn't work for anything else. Don't be throwing tires, rolled up carpets, old hose and electrical cords, just garbage. That's not good for the environment. You don't want to be breathing those fumes. But if you look in there, it's all just scrap wood.
Joe, because of the van.
Yeah, he's going to be at the gate.
I would just not give me a job. I'm gonna be floating everywhere.
Yeah, I got him there too.
And put Thor and
Shoot.
yep, Morgan and Marsha for vaccines.
Calling records.
Should be it, right? And you have you, me, and Braden for irons if needed.
Yeah.
I think between you and Braden, it's perfectly fine. That gives me opportunities to film. Mom's got records.
I'm working on a fire truck in the summertime and then on the
I don't know if Gordon Ramsay would approve of this.
I'm sure he would not.
Gordon
but
Ramsay
Gordon
doesn't have a
Ramsay
cow
can
looks
come
like
cook
until
for
it's
us
dead.
if he would like. I wouldn't say
Listen.
no to that.
Go thicker than that if you want. Twice that thing. Oh, gotcha. Bacon grease, and we cooked in that.
I know several people.
We should still do that. There's enough to feed 30 people here. This is good.
I hope so.
Seeds. He said, what the heck, I'll plant them.
No way.
Yep. And she was talking to him. And
Bray was.
did you leave it in the truck?
I think so.
Oh.
Trying to minimize the spray, and that's almost impossible.
It's the next morning, and we pulled it out of the fridge. It's time for gumbo day.
Oh, we're gonna add shrimp and okra to this. Yeah.
The chef himself.
Oh, I was just booth supervising last night.